The locker room door slammed shut. Savannah Roberts pressed her back against the cold metal lockers, heart hammering so hard she could feel it in her throat. Derek Fitzgerald moved closer, his 6'2" frame blocking the only exit. The overhead light flickered, casting shadows that made his smile look predatory. "Scream all you want," Derek said, voice low and confident. "Nobody's here after 5 p.m. His lacrosse teammates Brandon Walsh and 2 others spread out, forming a semicircle. The smell of sweat and fear filled the narrow space. Savannah's hands trembled as she clutched her backpack straps. 15 years old, 5'3", 110 pounds. The math wasn't in her favor. Derek reached for her shoulder. "Time to collect my points." That's when muscle memory kicked in. 3 years of garage training with her brother Harper flooded back. Soft spots. Bad guys don't fight fair. Neither would she. Savannah's knee shot up fast and hard, connecting with devastating precision. Derek's eyes went wide. He dropped like a sack of cement, curling into a ball on the grimy floor, making sounds like a dying whale. "What the hell?" Brandon backed away, shock replacing cockiness on his face. Savannah didn't run. She couldn't. The door was still blocked. Instead, she shifted her stance, weight balanced, hands up, exactly how Harper taught her. Ready for round 2. If you're feeling that rush of what's going to happen next, hit that like button. It really helps more people discover these stories. And if you want to share where you're watching from, drop it in the comments below for those who want to support more stories like this one. There's a thanks button right under this video. Every contribution, no matter how small, helps me bring you more inspiring tales of courage and standing up for what's right. Thank you for being here. Now, let's see what happens when push comes to shove. 3 weeks earlier, none of this would have made sense. Savannah Roberts was invisible at Lincoln High School, and that's exactly how she liked it. In a school of 3,000 students in Scottsdale, Arizona, being invisible meant safety. It meant slipping through hallways unnoticed, eating lunch in the library, and making it through freshman year without drama. She had a system. Arrive 7 minutes before first bell. Not too early to be alone. Not too late to navigate crowds. Take the back stairs to avoid the main hallway where the athletes congregated. Keep her head down. Earbuds in. Even when no music played. Invisible was good. Invisible was safe. But invisible girls make easy targets. The first sign something was wrong came on a Tuesday afternoon. Savannah sat at her usual spot in the library, tucked between medieval history and ancient civilizations, when giggling erupted from the computer section. Not unusual, except the giggling had an edge, like breaking glass wrapped in cotton. She glanced up from her biology textbook. A cluster of lacrosse players huddled around Brandon Walsh's phone. Derek Fitzgerald stood at the center, his perfect teeth flashing as he pointed at the screen. 50 points for freshmen, Brandon said, loud enough to carry. But only if you get proof. What about her? Someone pointed toward Savannah's corner. Derek turned, blue eyes scanning until they locked onto hers. He smiled, slow and deliberate. Perfect. The quiet ones never tell. Savannah's stomach dropped. She looked back at her textbook, pretending to read while her mind raced. Points proof. The words bounced around her skull like pinballs. Whatever game they were playing, she wanted no part of it. She packed up and left, taking the long way to avoid passing their table. But as she rounded the corner, she nearly collided with Alexis Monroe, a junior with dark circles under her eyes and arms crossed tight against her chest. "Stay away from them," Alexis whispered, glancing back at the library. Especially Derek. Before Savannah could ask why, Alexis hurried away, disappearing into the stream of students heading to fifth period. That night, Savannah sat on her bed, laptop open, trying to focus on her essay about the Scarlet Letter. Ironic, reading about public shaming while anxiety gnawed at her insides. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. She almost didn't open it. Then curiosity won. A photo filled her screen. Her, in the library, taken from behind. Zoomed in on her bent over her textbook. The caption read, "Target acquired. 50 points, easy." Her hands shook as she screenshot the message before blocking the number. She should tell someone. Her mom. The school. But tell them what? That some boys took a creepy photo. They'd say she was overreacting, making drama out of nothing. So she did what invisible girls do. She adapted. Different routes to class, different study spots, never alone. Always aware for 3 days. It worked. Then Derek spilled red Gatorade on her calculus textbook. Oops! He stood over her desk, empty bottle in hand, not even trying to look sorry. Guess you'll need a new one. The sticky liquid spread across her notes. 3 weeks of work dissolving into red pulp. The classroom filled with laughter. Even Ms. Peterson barely glanced up from her computer. It's fine, Savannah muttered, using tissues to salvage what she could. Don't engage. Don't react. Stay invisible. But Derek leaned down, close enough that she could smell his cologne, something expensive that probably cost more than her entire backpack. You should be more careful. Accidents happen all the time around here. That afternoon, she found her locker decorated with printouts, pictures of her from various angles, all candid, all taken without her knowledge. Walking to class, sitting alone at lunch, entering the bathroom. Each one had a number written in red marker. 10, 20, 35. She ripped them down, stuffing the papers in her backpack. Her hands trembled as she worked the combination, messing up twice before finally getting it open. Inside, a folded note sat on top of her textbooks. You're being watched. Every single day. Harper would know what to do. Her brother always knew what to do. But Harper was 8,000 miles away in Afghanistan, probably dealing with actual life and death situations. She couldn't bother him with high school drama. Instead, she remembered his last night home before deployment. They'd spent hours in the garage. Him teaching her basic self-defense moves on the old wrestling mats their dad left behind before he split. Listen, Sav, Harper had said, adjusting her stance. I won't be here to watch out for you, so you need to learn to watch out for yourself. I'll be fine, she'd insisted. It's just high school. Harper's expression darkened. High school's where predators learn to hunt. They test boundaries, see what they can get away with, and they always pick the quiet ones. He showed her the knee strike again. Aim for soft spots. Bad guys don't fight fair. She'd laughed it off then, Harper being overprotective as usual. Now, standing in an empty hallway with violated pictures in her backpack. His words felt prophetic. The harassment escalated like a symphony building to crescendo. Monday, explicit drawings appeared in her textbooks. Crude illustrations that made her skin crawl. Tuesday, they started the accidental bumping, shoulder checks that sent her into lockers, always when teachers weren't looking. Wednesday, Derek's crew followed her to the bathroom, standing outside making obscene noises until Mrs. Garcia chased them off. Thursday changed everything. Savannah stayed late for computer lab, finishing a presentation for English. The school emptied as 6 p.m. approached, hallways echoing with that hollow sound unique to after-hours buildings. She saved her work, logged off, and headed for the exit. The main door was locked. Strange, but not impossible. Janitors sometimes secured buildings in sections. She'd just used the side exit by the gym, also locked. Unease crept up her spine like cold fingers. She tried the cafeteria. Locked. The theater. Locked. Every exit sealed shut. Her phone showed no signal, which made no sense. Lincoln High had perfect coverage. Footsteps echoed from the main hallway. Slow, deliberate, multiple sets. "Savannah." Derek's voice carried through the empty space. "Come out! Come out!" "Wherever you are." She ducked into the nearest classroom, heart pounding. Think, think, think. The windows only opened 6 inches. Safety regulations. Even if she broke one, the alarm would bring security. But how long would that take? 5 minutes 10. "We know you're here," Brandon called out. "Closer now. Your car's still in the parking lot. Really should have accepted that ride home we offered last week." More laughter. At least 4 of them, maybe 5. She pressed against the door, listening to their movements. They were systematic, checking each room. Smart, organized. This wasn't spontaneous. Her phone vibrated. Unknown number again. She almost ignored it, then saw the message preview. "Check your email. Now. A friend." With shaking fingers, she opened her mail app. One new message from Harper's military email. Her brother's face filled the screen. But something was wrong. Bandages covered half his head, his left arm in a sling. "Hey, baby sister." The video message began. "Sorry I haven't written. Had a little accident. IED hit our convoy. I'm okay, but I'll be in the hospital for a while. Don't worry about me. Focus on school. Stay strong. Love you." The timestamp showed 3 days ago. 3 days her brother had been hurt, and she didn't know. 3 days she'd been handling this alone while he recovered from actual combat. The doorknob turned. She'd forgotten to lock it. Derek stood silhouetted in the doorway, backlit like a villain in a horror movie. "There you are." Savannah backed toward the windows, calculating distances. 30 feet to Derek, 20 feet to the door. 4 lacrosse players filing in behind him. No good options. "Phones away," Derek ordered. Wouldn't want any misunderstandings. But Savannah kept hers out, thumb finding the record button. Harper taught her that too. Evidence wins fights after they're over. "Leave me alone." Her voice came out steadier than expected. "Can't do that." Derek stepped closer. "See? You've been marked. 50 points. And I always finish what I start." "What does that mean? Points for what?" Brandon laughed. "She really doesn't know." Derek pulled out his phone, swiping to an app that looked like a game leaderboard. Names filled the screen, each with numbers beside them. At the top, the game, Lincoln High Conquest Rankings. "Every girl's worth points," Derek explained, like teaching a child. "Freshmen are 50, sophomores 30, juniors 20, seniors only 10. They're too easy. Get proof of the score. Claim your points. I'm currently in 2nd place." His smile widened. "You're gonna put me at number 1. The full horror of it crashed over her. A game. She was points in a game. All those girls, reduced to numbers on a scoreboard. "You're sick," she whispered. "We're entrepreneurial," Derek corrected. "Winners and losers, just like everything else in life. And you," he gestured at her trembling form, "you're definitely a loser." They spread out, boxing her in. No amount of garage training prepared her for this. 5 athletes against 1 freshman. Harper's voice echoed, "Bad guys don't fight fair." Neither would she. Savannah grabbed the nearest desk chair and hurled it at the window. Glass shattered, alarm shrieking through the building. Red lights flashed in the chaos. She tried to bolt for the door. Derek caught her arm, spinning her around. Nice try. His grip hurt, fingers digging into her bicep. She could smell the Gatorade on his breath, see the excitement in his eyes. He enjoyed this. The fear, the power, the hunt. Security's coming, Brandon warned. 3 minutes, Derek said. More than enough time. He dragged her toward the supply closet. She dug her heels in, sneakers squeaking against linoleum. The other boys laughed, filming on their phones. Evidence, but the wrong kind. That's when she saw him. Coach Mitchell stood in the doorway. Lincoln High polo stretched across his barrel chest. Relief flooded through her. An adult. Finally. Coach, she tried to pull free. Help. Coach Mitchell looked at the scene. His prize lacrosse players. The broken window. The crying freshman. He sighed like a disappointed father. Boys, he said calmly, take it to the locker room and delete those videos. You know the rules. The world tilted. The coach. Their coach. He knew. No problem, Coach, Derek said, grip tightening. Just a misunderstanding. Let me go, Savannah screamed, but the alarm drowned her out. They dragged her through empty hallways, past trophy cases full of championship banners, past motivational posters about integrity and character. The locker room door opened like a mouth, swallowing her whole, which brought her here, back pressed against metal, knee throbbing from impact. Derek writhing on the floor, 3 lacrosse players staring in shock, and one thought burning through her mind. Harper was right. High schools where predators learn to hunt. But he also taught her something else. Sometimes prey bites back. Get her! Brandon lunged forward. Savannah dodged left, using his momentum against him. He crashed into the lockers with a metallic bang. Another player grabbed for her backpack. She let him have it, slipping free and sprinting for the door. Locked, of course. You're gonna pay for that, Derek groaned, struggling to his feet. The small window near the ceiling caught her eye. Too high to reach normally, but the benches... She leaped onto the wooden bench, then to the top of the lockers. Her fingertips barely reached the window latch. Behind her, footsteps pounded closer. The latch stuck, years of paint and rust holding it shut. She slammed her palm against it. Once, twice, on the third hit. It gave way. Hands grabbed her ankles, pulling her down. She kicked wildly, connecting with something soft that yelped. The window swung open. Cool air rushing in. Freedom, just inches away. Victorious. But he'd forgotten one thing. Her phone was still recording. The principal's office smelled like leather and disappointment. Savannah sat in the stiff chair, hands folded, phone hidden in her pocket, still recording everything. Principal Harrison paced behind his desk, while her mother occupied the chair beside her. Confusion and worry etched across her face. Mrs. Roberts, Principal Harrison began, voice grave. Your daughter broke a classroom window, attempted to flee school property, and physically assaulted our star lacrosse player. Derek Fitzgerald may have permanent damage. That's not what happened, Savannah said quietly. Her mother's hand touched her shoulder. Honey, let him finish. Several witnesses confirmed Derek's account. The principal continued. Good students, athletes with scholarships on the line. Why would they lie? Savannah almost laughed. Why indeed? However, Principal Harrison sat down, fingers steepled. Derek's family has agreed not to press charges if Savannah transfers schools immediately. We'll mark it as a voluntary withdrawal. No disciplinary action on her permanent record. Transfer, her mother's voice pitched higher. But we just moved here. My job. The alternative is expulsion and possible criminal charges. The principal interrupted. I'm trying to help here. Through the door, Savannah heard familiar voices. Coach Mitchell talking to someone, probably Derek's father. The words misunderstanding and troubled girl drifted through. I need to use the bathroom, Savannah announced. Can't it wait? Principal Harrison looked annoyed. No, she stood, clutching her stomach. The stress, her mother nodded knowingly. Let her go, please. And the principal waved dismissively. Second door on the right. Don't take long. And Savannah walked calmly until she rounded the corner. Then sprinted to the nearest empty classroom. Her fingers flew across her phone, uploading the recording to 3 different cloud services. Harper taught her that too. Always have backups. The video was damning. Derek explaining the game, the point system. Coach Mitchell telling them to take it to the locker room. Their attempted assault, everything. She opened Instagram, creating a new account. At Lincoln Predators, anonymous, untraceable. The first post went up immediately, a screen recording of Derek's scoreboard app with the caption, "This is what Lincoln High athletes do for fun. Names, points. Your daughters are their game." Then she texted the one person who might help. Alexis, it's Savannah Roberts. They tried tonight. I have proof. Please call me. Her phone rang within seconds. Are you okay? Alexis's voice was breathless. For now. But they want me to transfer or face charges. Typical. Bitterness dripped from the word. They did the same to me last year. Made me out to be crazy. But I kept evidence too. Screenshots, videos. I've been waiting for someone brave enough to fight back. I'm not brave. I'm terrified. Same thing, honey. Listen, I know 12 other girls. We've been talking, supporting each other. Send me everything. We're ending this tonight. Savannah forwarded the recording. What about Coach Mitchell? He knew. He told them where to take me. That's new. We suspected but never had proof. This changes everything. I have to go back. They'll wonder. Savannah, stay strong. You're not alone anymore. Back in the principal's office, her mother was signing papers, transfer documents. Savannah's heart sank. Mom, don't. It's for the best, sweetie. Her mother's eyes were red. A fresh start. Principal Harrison looked pleased. Wise decision. Savannah can finish the week while we process the paperwork. I trust there won't be any more incidents. There won't be any more incidents. Savannah agreed. Phone burning in her pocket. But she didn't promise from whom. That night, at Lincoln Predators exploded. Alexis and her network worked like a military operation. Screenshots flooded in. Stories poured out. The game went back 4 years, passed down from senior players to juniors like a sick tradition. Emma Chen, class of 2022. They got 50 points for getting me drunk at a party. I don't remember what happened after. Jessica Martinez, current junior. Coach Mitchell saw them corner me after practice, told me I was being too sensitive. Rachel Thompson, graduated last year. I reported it. Principal Harrison said I misunderstood locker room talk. My parents pulled me out. By midnight, 17 stories were live. By 3 a.m., 42, each one worse than the last. The point system was just the surface. Bonus points for freshmen, double points for virgins, triple for getting them to cry. Savannah lay in bed, laptop glowing, watching the follower count climb. 1,000, 5,000, 10,000. Comments poured in from students, parents, alumni. Local news picked it up by morning. Lincoln High's dark secret, the game that targeted your daughters. Her phone buzzed nonstop. Unknown numbers. threatening texts. "Take it down or else. You'll regret this. We know where you live." She screenshot them all. Evidence, always evidence. Friday morning came too fast. Savannah's mother wanted her to stay home, but she insisted on going. One more day to gather proof. One more day to be visible. The parking lot buzzed like a disturbed hive. Parents clustered in groups, phones out, voices raised. News vans lined the street. She pulled her hood up and slipped through the chaos. Inside was worse. Teachers huddled in corners, whispering. Students stared as she passed, some with sympathy, others with barely concealed rage. She'd disrupted the ecosystem. Prey wasn't supposed to fight back. Savannah. She turned to find Brandon Walsh blocking her path, face twisted with panic. Gone was the cocky athlete. Dark circles ringed his eyes. "You have to stop this," he hissed. "My dad's the police chief. Do you understand what you've done?" "I didn't do anything." "You did. It was just a game. Nobody got hurt." "Nobody." She stepped closer, voice low. "Tell that to Emma Chen, or Jessica Martinez, or any of the 47 girls who've come forward." His face paled. 47. And counting. My scholarship. Should have thought of that before you hunted humans for sport. Brandon grabbed her wrist. "I'll make you stop. You'll what?" A deep voice interrupted. Coach Mitchell stood behind Brandon, face carved from stone. Students scattered, sensing danger. But Savannah held her ground. "Let her go! Walsh!" the coach ordered. Brandon released her, stepping back. "Coach, she's destroying everything." "No." Coach Mitchell's eyes never left Savannah's. "We did that ourselves. Get to class." Brandon fled. The hallway emptied, leaving them alone. Coach Mitchell was 6'4", 250 pounds of former NFL muscle. Savannah was 5'3" in sneakers. But she didn't back down. "Brave little thing. Aren't you?" His voice was oddly sad. "My brother taught me to be. Military family." When she nodded, he sighed. "My daughter's a freshman at State, 19 years old. Know what I'd do if someone ran a game on her. The same thing I'm doing." "No." He leaned against the lockers. "I'd kill them. Clean and simple. You're smarter. You're burning it all down instead. You knew. You let them." "I know." The admission hung between them. Started as hazing. Senior players rating girls. Stupid teenage stuff. Then it evolved. Got meaner. By the time I realized how bad it was, you could have stopped it. Could I? Harrison's nephew was a player. School board president's son. Mayor's kid. You stop that. You lose your job, your career, everything. So you chose your career over those girls. His jaw clenched. "Yes, and I'll live with that forever." "Why tell me this?" "Because they're coming for you. The parents, the lawyers, the whole machine. They'll paint you as disturbed, troubled. They'll find every mistake you've ever made and magnify it." He pushed off the lockers. Unless what? You have something they can't spin. Something undeniable." He pulled out his phone, swiped to a video. 3 years ago, Harrison's daughter, Claire, she came to me crying, said Derek's older brother assaulted her at a party. I was supposed to delete this. On screen, a younger Claire Harrison sobbed in the coach's office, detailing exactly what happened. Names, dates, details that matched other stories perfectly. And at the end, Principal Harrison himself entering, telling her to think about the family's reputation. "Why didn't you Because I'm a coward, Coach Mitchell said simply. But maybe you're not. My office computer has 4 years of incident reports I was told to bury. The password's my daughter's birthday, October 15th. He started walking away, then paused. They moved the emergency school board meeting to tonight, 7 p.m. The vote's already decided. They'll blame a few bad apples, fire me as sacrificial lamb, claim the system works, unless someone disrupts their show. Why help me now? Because my daughter starts here next year. His voice cracked. And I can't protect her from what I helped create. The bell rang. Students flooded the hallway, but Savannah stood frozen. A choice. Take the evidence and trust a man who'd failed so many, or walk away and let them win. Harper would know what to do, but Harper was in a hospital bed 8,000 miles away. This choice was hers alone. That afternoon, while everyone focused on damage control, Savannah slipped into the athletic office. Coach Mitchell had conveniently left it unlocked. Security cameras mysteriously offline. His password worked. The computer screen filled with folders. Incident reports. Complaints. Harrison correspondence. 4 years of buried truth. She plugged in her flash drive, copying everything. Names she recognized jumped out. Star athletes protected. Victims silenced. Transfers arranged. A whole system designed to preserve reputation over safety. One folder made her stomach turn. The game archive. Screenshots going back to 2019. The original creators had graduated, passed the tradition down like a toxic heirloom. Each year getting worse, pushing boundaries further. What are you doing? Savannah spun. Derek stood in the doorway, no longer the confident predator. Bandages wrapped his ribs where her knee had connected. Good. Leaving, she lied, and I'm sliding to the flash drive. Don't. He stepped inside, closing the door. Look, I messed up. The game got out of hand, but ruining everyone's lives won't fix anything. It'll stop you from doing it again. Will it? You think we invented this? It's everywhere. Every school, every team, we just kept score. That doesn't make it right? No, but it makes it reality. He sat on the edge of the desk, attempting casual. My dad's offering 100,000 to make this go away. Cash. No questions. You could go to any school you want. He's trying to buy my silence. He's trying to buy peace. Take it and disappear. Everyone wins. Everyone except your victims. Derek's mask slipped. They're not victims. They're players who lost. Just like in life. Winners and losers. Natural selection. Natural selection, she pulled out the flash drive. Let's see how that theory holds up in court. His face darkened. You have no idea who you're messing with. My family owns half this town. Judges, cops, politicians. You're a nobody freshman with a military brother who can't even protect you. That stung, but pain could be fuel if you let it. You're right, she said. I am nobody. That's why I'm dangerous. I've got nothing to lose. She headed for the door. Derek grabbed her shoulder, spinning her around. His mistake. 3 years of garage training took over. Palm strike to the solar plexus. He doubled over, gasping. Touch me again, she said calmly. And what happened in the locker room will feel like a love tap. She left him wheezing and ran. The flash drive burned in her pocket, evidence that would destroy dynasties. But first, she needed allies. The school board meeting was in 3 hours. Time to gather an army. Alexis Monroe lived in a modest apartment complex on the edge of town. When she opened the door, 12 girls sat in her living room. Survivors, fighters, ready for war. That's her, a senior with purple hair sized up Savannah. She's tiny. So's a bullet, Alexis said. Show them what you got. Savannah connected her laptop to the TV. The evidence filled the screen. 4 years of cover-ups, 73 incidents, hundreds of thousands in hush money, names, dates, a whole conspiracy laid bare. Holy shit, someone whispered. This is it, Alexis said. This breaks the whole system. If they let it, the purple-haired girl countered. The board meeting's already scripted, public comments limited to 3 minutes per person. They'll cut mics, cite procedure, shut us down. Not if we don't play by their rules, Savannah said. She outlined the plan. It was dangerous, possibly illegal, definitely against school policy. But sometimes, breaking bad rules was the only way to make good ones. I'm in, Alexis said immediately. One by one. The others agreed. 12 girls who'd been silenced, dismissed, transferred, and traumatized. Ready to roar. There's one more thing. Savannah pulled up her phone. Harper sent another message. Her brother's face filled the screen, still bandaged but alert. Hey, baby sister, heard through the grapevine you're raising hell. Good. Remember what I taught you. Bad guys don't fight fair, so you fight smarter. Love you. Your brother's hot, someone said, breaking the tension. They laughed. Solidarity born from shared pain. These weren't victims anymore. They were warriors. The school board meeting was held in the high school auditorium. By 6:45. It was standing room only. Parents, students, media, all crammed into a space meant for half the number. The energy felt electric, dangerous. Savannah sat with her mother in the middle section. Around them, scattered strategically. Her 12 allies waited, each one holding printed evidence. Each one ready. The board filed in at 7 sharp. 5 members, all wearing the careful faces of politicians in crisis. Principal Harrison sat at the side table with the district superintendent and lawyer. Let's call this emergency session to order, Board President Williams said. We're here to address the allegations regarding Lincoln High School. We've conducted a preliminary investigation. Whitewash, someone yelled from the back. Order, please. As I was saying, we've found isolated incidents of inappropriate behavior by a small number of students. Disciplinary action has been taken. Coach Mitchell has submitted his resignation. We believe the matter is resolved. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. Savannah felt her phone buzz. A text from Alexis. Now, she typed back, wait. We'll now open the floor for public comment. Williams continued. 3 minutes per speaker. Please maintain decorum. The first parent stood, angry but playing by the rules. 3 minutes of venting that the board weathered like a mild storm. Then another, and another, all following the script. Savannah's turn. She walked to the microphone, 12 shadows moving with her. My name is Savannah Roberts, she began. 4 days ago, I was assaulted by Derek Fitzgerald and his friends. They were playing a team, a game where girls are worth points. Miss Roberts, Williams interrupted. These are serious allegations. Do you have proof? Yes. She held up the flash drive. Behind her, 12 girls stood, each holding thick folders. 4 years of proof, 73 covered-up incidents. Emails between board members discussing how to manage victims. Financial records showing payoffs, everything. The board members exchanged panicked looks. Their lawyer whispered urgently to Harrison. That's illegally obtained. Williams stammered. You can't. Actually. A new voice spoke from the side door. She can. FBI Special Agent Chen walked in, badge visible, followed by 6 other agents. The auditorium erupted, parents shouting, media scrambling for position, board members frozen in shock. "I'm sorry," Agent Chen said into the chaos. "Did you think trafficking images of minors across state lines wouldn't get federal attention, especially when brave young women provide such comprehensive evidence?" She nodded to Savannah, who handed over the flash drive. Around the room, the 12 girls delivered their folders to other agents. "This is entrapment," Harrison shouted. These girls. Agent Chen cut him off. "Are witnesses in a federal investigation. And you, Principal Harrison, are under arrest for conspiracy to obstruct justice." The takedown was swift. Harrison in handcuffs. Board members detained for questioning. Parents of implicated players escorted out. Derek Fitzgerald and Brandon Walsh, watching from the back, tried to flee, but found agents waiting. "The game's over," Agent Chen announced. "Any student with information, please see us. Any victim needing support. We have counselors available. Lincoln High is under federal oversight effective immediately." In the chaos, someone grabbed Savannah's hand, her mother, tears streaming. "Why didn't you tell me? Would you have believed me? A nobody freshman against the whole system." Her mother pulled her close. "You're not nobody. You're my daughter, and you're extraordinary." As the auditorium emptied, Alexis appeared with the other girls. They stood together, survivors who'd found their voices. Behind them, news cameras rolled, broadcasting Lincoln High's shame to the world. "We did it," someone whispered. "No," Savannah corrected. "We started it. The real work comes next." 3 months later, Lincoln High looked different. Metal detectors gone, replaced with counselors. Motivational posters swapped for actual support systems. The trophy case that once celebrated victories now included a plaque in honor of those brave enough to speak truth to power. Savannah walked the familiar hallways, no longer invisible. Students nodded, some with respect, others with lingering resentment. Change was hard. Systems built over years didn't crumble overnight. "Savannah." She turned to find a freshman girl, barely 14, clutching textbooks. "I'm Madison. I just wanted to say thank you. My sister went here 3 years ago. She was on their list. Never told anyone until your story came out. She's finally getting help." "I'm glad," Savannah said, meaning it. "Are you really teaching self-defense?" "Starting next week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Can I join?" "Everyone can join. That's the point." Madison hurried off, hope replacing fear. That made it worth it. All the death threats, legal battles, sleepless nights. Worth it for one girl who felt safer. The gym was already set up when Savannah arrived for the first class. Mats laid out, equipment ready. She'd expected maybe 10 people. 50 girls filled the space, ages 14 to 18, all looking uncertain but determined. "Wow," she breathed. "Overwhelming." She spun to find Harper in the doorway. Full uniform, crutches under one arm, grinning like he'd won the lottery. "Harper?" She flew across the room, careful of his injuries. "Hey, baby sister. Heard you were teaching my moves to an army. How are you here? Medical leave. Turns out saving your hometown from predators gets you some pull with the brass." He surveyed the room. 50 warriors in training. Not bad. "I don't know if I can do this." "Sure you do." He squeezed her shoulder. "You already did the hard part. You stood up. Now you're just teaching others to do the same." The girls gathered around, eyes wide, at the actual soldier in their midst. Harper straightened, military bearing evident even on crutches. "Listen up," he commanded. "My sister's gonna teach you to protect yourselves. Not because the world's fair, but because it isn't. Not because you should have to, but because you might need to. First lesson: your body, your rules. Anyone tries to take that choice away, you take it back. Hard." He demonstrated a basic palm strike, modified for his injuries. The girls copied, tentative at first, then with growing confidence. "Good. Remember, you're not training to fight. You're training so you don't have to. Predators want easy targets. Don't be easy." "No thanks to you," Savannah said. No thanks to me." He met her eyes. "I testified to the FBI, gave them everything. 15 people are facing charges because of what you started and what I finally finished. It doesn't make up for what I allowed, but maybe it helps prevent the next version." "Maybe," Harper said. "But you don't get absolution. You get to live with what you enabled." Mitchell nodded. "I know. Jenna wants to take your class, if you'll have her. She needs to be strong in ways I never was." And Savannah considered. Revenge would be easy. Turn away the daughter for the father's sins. But this wasn't about revenge anymore. "Tuesday and Thursday," she said. "Everyone's welcome." As Mitchell left, Harper whistled low. "You're better than I would be. I learned from the best." The gym emptied slowly, girls chatting excitedly about next week. Through the windows, Savannah saw news vans still parked outside. The story had legs, spreading to other schools, other towns. "The game ends" trending for weeks. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number, but she recognized the area code. Washington, D.C. "Miss Roberts, this is Senator Patricia Wells. I've been following your story. I'm drafting legislation about systematic abuse in schools. I'd like your input." "I'm just a freshman." "You're a catalyst. Sometimes that matters more than age. Will you consider it?" Savannah looked at Harper, who nodded encouragingly. At the empty gym that would fill again next week. At her phone, showing 47,000 followers on @LincolnPredators, now a resource site for survivors. "Yes," she said, "I'll help." Change came in waves. 37 players from the game were prosecuted, 12 faculty members fired, 3 board members resigned. Principal Harrison got 5 years federal time. Derek Fitzgerald lost his scholarship and faced juvenile detention. Brandon Walsh's father resigned as police chief after evidence showed he'd buried complaints. But the real change was smaller, quieter. Girls walking with heads higher. Boys thinking twice before joking. Teachers actually watching, actually caring. Parents having hard conversations. The game was over, but the lessons it taught would last forever. She would. For every quiet girl who felt invisible. For every victim told to stay silent. For every predator who thought the game would last forever. Because sometimes the smallest person in the room could flip more than just bullies. Sometimes they could flip the whole world.